And we have the new scene, the Castlevania scene. We have the new scene. All right, internet
My
cuts off, so we're
search
gonna
thing
see.
isn't finding
Yeah,
Castlevania.
cool echoing here if I don't turn that off. All right, your search thing.
And my thing isn't finding Castlevania, which is quite annoying.
Your search thing.
And my thing isn't
I'm just going to call it good.
I'm going to call it good.
Okay.
And then I'm just going to start going. And I'm going to tweet out about it. And
All
I'll
right.
check my stream and make sure you sound okay. And then we can go. Okay.
Sounds like a plan. We are
going live with RixterGT to play some Castlevania.
actually already live.
We're both already live, so I'm a liar to Twitter, so don't tell nobody. I'm just going to find a Castlevania GIF.
Okay.
Castlevania.
I don't think I can make my mic any louder. Hopefully we are. I'm looking at the levels and it looks like the green equalizer lines are going about at the same level when we talk. So I hope we're at about the same volume.
Okay, I'm going to talk, and then you stop talking.
There, stop talking.
All right, you sound amazing. Okay.
Okay.
Now here's the hope. I hope my this is a problem. My start button does not work on my controller.
That is a problem. It's difficult to start games without a start button. And I assume, yeah, a lot of these old games. That's one thing interesting about some of these old games is there were only 4 buttons, and they wanted to make sure you used the right ones. So like, if it said you have to push select to change modes, you have to push select. You can't push up and down. They wanted to make use of that select button. Same with start.
I'll keep trying, but
in the meantime, I don't know if we have anyone here yet, but welcome to TV Gaming with RixterGT and Nerd Numbers. I am Landon, this is Dre, and we are playing Castlevania tonight. This is the first time really. I have a hard time saying this is my first time playing this game. I've never played it much, but I've played it here and there over the years, right? So it's not like I've never seen the game. It's not totally blind, but I've probably never been past the first level. Um, let's see. We picked this game because it kind of follows along with us playing the first Metroid game, and then later Super Metroid. But Metroid and this game, and the Metroid series and the Castlevania series have become known as the kind of the original games of the Metroidvania genre. Largely started from the first Metroid game, as I think we'll see as we play this game. It wasn't until later Castlevanias that they kind of took on that play mechanic. That makes something a Metroidvania.
I was going to say I had a rant about this, and it can be a long rant or a short rant. So the spoiler is I did beef up a little on this game in terms of watching like the You Can Beat video games.
Mm-hmm.
And I think with like a couple of but I did keep true to like not actually playing through, which I regret because I think I'm gonna embarrass myself.
I'm gonna do terrible. I remember this being a really difficult game, but this is more.
Okay, so let's see. I
More
was able to get
exploratory
into the game, so now what I'm gonna try and see is if I close off that other controller, I can.
Well,
yeah, what the heck? This is annoying as all get up. I literally cannot play the game, like, which is frustrating. I'll see if I can find something else. I mean, worst case, I can stream something else, but
yeah, I mean,
it is needless to say.
do you have like a? So you're playing this on the Switch. Does the Switch controller not have a button that works for this?
So the Switch itself has like these two little side ones.
right?
Oh, there we go. Okay, so do you want the embarrassing thing of what happened? All right, keep talking. I'm totally not playing trying to get a lead. Um,
Okay. Well.
what happened is I was player two.
Oh, that, yeah.
So I'm like,
That.
why can't I play? That actually does take me back. Okay, so here's my rant though, and I think you were kind of talking this, and I, with apologies, like half paying attention because
You're
I was
troubleshooting.
trying to figure out
Yeah.
how to freaking press start. Let's see. I think you can jump over this door. By the way, I messed it up, but you can, in the start of the castle, if you jump over the door, you can get like a prize or something. So the
Oh,
way
really?
this game works, by the way, is you get an extra life for 30,000 points, and you get like treasures that like are randomly activated. So I mean, it's kind of an old Nintendo
Okay.
game with some of those weird dynamics. But one thing that has been a very popular theme on our hit show,
Or
Two
wildly
TV
successful
Gaming.
2 TV gaming. Yeah.
It's honestly, I mean, your friends from work and the random people that tune in, like, do just amaze me. Like,
As
I'm
far,
like,
as far as I know,
okay.
nobody I work with has ever tuned in. I would probably hear about that at
Oh
work
wait,
if they
just
did.
just friends.
They'd
Why would you hear about that at work?
be like, "Wow, Landon, I
But
didn't
you
know you
just have you
streamed."
just have friends.
I just
You
have
just have friends
friends
outside
that
of
I
work.
met outside of work. It's crazy, right?
All right.
Hey, Mitty.
Um, but a common thing that shows up on this show is the concept of Metroidvania games, in part because we, kind of our background, kind of a weird jokey thing we had going on for years is I'm a big Zelda guy ish. I kind of stopped around Wind Waker just because college and stuff got in the way, and you're a big Metroid guy,
Hmm.
and I would insult Metroid and yada yada. It's fun, we have fun here. We like to have fun,
Oh yeah,
and
lots of
there's a concept called the Metroidvania, which is this idea of an open world game, and that's cool. Like, it's a fun idea, and something that bugs me about it, kind of in hindsight, is that one, I would make the argument that Zelda and Metroid have more in common at their don't watch my stream. Nothing happened. It's okay. Um, Zelda and Metroid at their roots have more in common than Castlevania and Metroid. Because as we're going to watch this game, we'll see how well the two of us do as we
them. Hmm.
play. This is an on the rails experience. Pretty much, it is very Mario. It does really encourage the left to right. There are some, down and left, or up and whatever, but this game is on the rails. It really reminds me of Super Mario, the Super Mario Brothers, even Super Mario Brothers 3 kind of dynamic of
Hmm.
now you're in world 1-1, 1-2, etc. And there's really not of exploration involved. There's not really any backtracking, which is kind of what is known in Metroidvanias. Now, Zelda, the original Zelda, Legend of Zelda, and almost every Zelda after that follow that dynamic. The open world explore, you can do whatever you want. You're telling me you're playing Ocarina of Time as we speak at this
Hmm.
very moment.
At
Those
this
that can't
exact
see
second, yeah.
Landon's, people that can't see Landon's other screen, because you're well known for having multiple screens. You say that on every show. You say, "Wow, it's great to have multiple screens."
That's right.
It's
I
one of
do
your
say that all the
catchphrases.
time.
Yep. Um, you're playing Ocarina of Time right now, and you noted that on Ocarina of Time, like, you think you beat the Fire Temple early,
No, not beat.
and you
I
and I
think
were
I
kind of,
just got to it.
yeah, and I think you and I were joking about how this can kind of happen in that if you're not, oh, and by the way, I've got the invisibility potion, which is really invincible, so that's cool.
Hmm.
And I got the axe. Yeah. But I was gonna say, you and I have kind of discussed that it's really easy. Let's see if I can do this. Nope, did not. There's a hack there, but I didn't do it. But you and I have kind of discussed that, in those games, it's really easy to just kind of not pay attention to what the game's telling you.
Hmm. Yeah.
And
Just.
and by the way, I don't know what you're doing. I need to watch your stream. Um, but like, the villagers or someone says, hey, you should go south because there's a wise man who's got magic or something, and you're like, cool. Or if you're not reading, it's like, to the south there's a dragon. You'll need a jewel to defeat it, and it's like, oh well, I probably should have read about that jewel.
Right.
Bummer. Um, so it's really easy. So it is like open world. This is not like, you can see I basically just beat a level. It takes me to an external map and tells me where to go. So Castlevania really did not start as an open world game. Now, Castlevania 2 really did embrace that, which is cool. But I'm kind of like, hey, Metroidvania should just be called Metroid, because Metroid has done this since the beginning. Castlevania did not, and Zelda did it since the beginning. So it's like, if you want to combine them, it's like Metroid Zelda, and I forget, did which came out first, Legend of Zelda or Metroid? I think Legend of Zelda, right?
I think so. Let me look that up. Zelda 1 was released in February of 86, which does put it before Metroid.
Yeah, so instead of calling these games Metroidvanias, they should just call them Zeldas. That's my hot take.
All right, that is quite the hot take, and I've probably got a lot to say about that too. But first, that this is a great like
This is a great
all
time for you to
time
tell
yeah time
to
yeah.
recap Mega Man 1.
Let's talk about Mega Man 1. No, I want to give a little more of an intro to Castlevania first. So I'm going to use one of these cool transitions I worked on before the stream to ta-da, check it out. First, I like looking at the box art of a lot of these games, and so what I've got up on my stream now is the Castlevania box art, which I'm sure you've seen is probably on your version and everything. This
Hey, by
is
the way, what's the deal with like Simon Belmont being He-Man? Check out those legs.
is this not awesome box art?
Am I not entertained? It is. It is awesome.
This is really cool box art. This is some of the best. Like
I
it's right up there with like Super Metroid or anything else really. Like it's this cool action shot. Like he's like looking towards the castle. The whip is like in this kind of dramatic pose. It's got like Dracula up there. Like it makes you want to play the game, right? It's really cool. It's really well done. Um,
By the way, if you're I don't know if you have both. Well, you just have the box art on yours, but then yeah, compare that box art to the pixelated Simon Belmont figure I got running around right now.
oh, I
That's
know.
definitely fun.
Yeah, and that was a big issue with a lot of old Nintendo games, right? Because like if we were looking like the Mega Man art, which I can bring up here, which I promise not to talk about Mega Man too much, but
Although like the real, like, I'll say, I mean, here's the reality, by the way. Stupid munch. You're never going to beat Mega Man for a combination of well done pixel art and then like matches up with the game like box art, Japanese. So like it's kind
mhm.
of wild that it has that distinction and then loses, because I mean this pixel, I mean the point is, right, that's the whole point about old video games, right, is you have these, like Atari was much better at this, where you look at the Atari box art and there's like a starfighter fighting an alien, and then probably something sexist like a bikini clad woman or something on there, and you're
Right.
like, oh my god, this is the coolest game ever, and then you're like a square
Yeah,
fighting
exactly.
rectangles and it's like beep beep beep, you're like, all right.
So so anyway, Castlevania is obviously a Dracula vampire themed game, right? And I was reading the Wikipedia page because I didn't want to come in totally unprepared to tell our viewers about Castlevania. And it's a Konami game, and it was developed. The director Hitoshi Akama, Akamatsu, I'm probably saying that wrong. Said he wanted to approach the project with a film director's eye, and I'm just reading the Wikipedia here. And so like the visuals and the music were for Castlevania were made by people who consciously wanted to do something cinematic, and he wanted players to feel like they're in a classic horror film. Um, which
And
you,
so,
you
as
kind
an
of get that
FYI,
from.
as well, we'll maybe see tonight. But the bosses are a giant bat, Medusa, Frankenstein's
Mhm.
monster, and Igor. Although it's just listed as Frankenstein's mom. It's just listed as Frankenstein in the thingamabob in the instruction manual. So yeah, and then of course Dracula and Death.
Right.
No joke. At some point we fight Death.
Yeah,
Oh
and
my!
so
I'm going
pretty.
to comment on a thing that just happened on mine that's annoying. A cool dynamic of this game is you have different weapons that you can pick up and use that are really useful.
Mhm.
But it's really annoying is that unlike other games like say Mega Man, it's not select between the weapons you get. It's whatever the last weapon you picked up is
Right.
the weapon you have. God, I hate Medusa heads. I need to just get the stopwatch. But so as a result, it can be frustrating. Like I just had the boomerang, which I wanted actually for the area I just got killed in, and then I accidentally knocked open a candle that had a dagger in it, and then I got the dagger because that's the other thing about this game is that you hit things very Super Mario Brothers. Like yeah, this is a Super Mario Brothers game. I'm going to say that, not to be mean. This is basically a cinematic Super Mario Brothers game with a horror theme,
Sure.
which is why I'm so incredulous about the Metroidvania. Um, but yeah, that's what I got there.
So
But proceed about cinematic vision and stuff.
yeah, so trying to be cinematic, and I'll replay the intro here, which I think they did a good job there. Um, let's see some other a couple interesting things like about the development of this game is this game was made alongside another game uh, for like a different computer, MSX2 game, which I'm not even familiar with that, which kind of surprises me.
Sorry,
But
that are you just making stuff up now? A what X2?
MSX2, it's this other like home computer, um, early '80s computer that they
Welcome to 2TV Gaming, where Landon just makes up gaming
making
systems to
stuff
see
up.
if anybody calls him on it.
But but this other game is called Vampire Killer, and it's interesting because it's was made alongside this game. It has like same characters and setting, but different gameplay mechanics. I'm not sure what I didn't read that page. And I don't know. I think that's really interesting to me that they made two games, same themes, same idea, but they're different for different systems. And in fact, they both use the same box art because I did look that up. And
Oh, that's hilarious. That would be so fun. Like, especially to go back to the 80s, because again, even, I mean, like, I think something enduring about Mega Man, Super Mario Brothers, and I'd say like Sonic, is they do have this really nice box art that
yeah,
just kind of endures, right? So it's kind of, and then of course all of those did make the move. All of those did make the move. Oh yeah, that's something cool to do with the Medusa. So that's actually a skip there. I forgot about that. So I inadvertently just did a useful glitch there, which is use the Medusa head to knock you up to be able to skip half of the scene.
oh nice.
Go me. But yeah, like the box art really endures, but it would just be really fun to go back to the 80s and use like just the same box art for as many different games and see what happens.
Yeah, right.
All right, I'm
But
gonna give this part as an homage to Mega Man's Secret. For those that don't remember, in Mega Man's Secret, there's a Crusher part,
oh
and
yeah,
so
oh
Konami
yeah,
really
nice.
liked that, and they included a homage to it right here.
I'm just flattered by that. Like that's very cool. All right, one last little fun fact about the development of Castlevania before I get started playing it as well. And then you'll have a chance to talk about this a little bit because the player Simon Belmont was originally named Peter Dante, and
Like
Peter Dante,
Dante's Inferno, I'm guessing.
a vampire killer who was a grandson of Christopher Dante.
Christopher Dante from Dante's Inferno, or am I just making stuff up?
Christopher Dante, who we know as Vice
Christopher
President
Dante.
of Purchasing and Supply at Creative Foam Corp in Rochester, Michigan. Yeah,
Yes,
fun fact.
that
Yeah.
was my next guest.
Well, you almost had it. All right, let me restart the game.
Uh,
So it should be coming across here. Like the intro to this is pretty cool. The title screen, it's got like that little castle and the bat that kind of flies around it. That's pretty neat. And you can even see it's got like the film edges, right? Um, the what do you call those? Like at the edges of like real film. It's got like these
I'm
dots,
not seeing you
these
restarted. I'm
squares.
just seeing you paused, by the way, as an FYI.
um, well, I see it on my stream, so I
And
don't
now.
know what to say. Anyway, so you can really see that it is like trying to be moving. Then when you do start, you have this pretty cool opening cinema. Like this is very moody. These are great colors, using their limited palette, and it looks awesome. And then you start the game, and to be honest, this looks kind of terrible. Like this tree, what is even happening here? Like it's just kind of a mess. Um, yeah, Simon himself, like he looks fine. The animations are pretty decent, I think. Just kind of whipping around. Um, but yeah,
Oh, my
this is
news killed me.
one of the things um, where I was saying like the Mega Man artist did such a great job of just making such a nice and clean looking game. Where a lot of Nintendo games looked kind of like this, right? Where they tried to put in maybe a little too much detail and it just kind of hard to look at. And this would have looked a little different on a CRT versus like how we're seeing it. Like actually how it comes across on stream is probably a little closer to how we originally would have seen it, just with the
And I stress that our streams both look really nice. So I'll give it that.
nice. So my
Okay,
my
now in
my
theory, I want to be wise and not lose the holy water is broken in this game. Holy water's your bud. Don't lose the holy water if you can avoid it.
somehow I jumped backwards. My first thought about this game when you pick it up and play it is like walking back and forth. It's a little slow, but it's fine. The jumping is really strange though, and this is where I was saying how Mega Man like really stands the test of time as far as like playability and just gameplay and just how it feels. This just like when you jump forward, you can't change your forward momentum while in air. Which while that's more realistic, right? Like in real life, you can't change directions in midair. It does make it kind of awkward to control. And if you accidentally jump forward, well, you're just gonna be accidentally jumping off an edge, or if you jump
I
straight
don't
up, you can't
really
start
I don't
moving.
really have an issue with the jumping mechanic. I'll say that. But to your point, something at this game, like I think with any game, you kind of work around the limitations of what you can do, right? So from that perspective, hey, maybe the controls aren't as crisp. I just jumped into a thing to your point, but yeah. So like even to that point, right? Maybe the controls aren't as crisp for jumping, but then this game just really embraces the open pits that you can fall into. And I would say that's like the frustrating, annoying part is I wouldn't have a fault with that. You're only able to jump forward, but for whatever reason, like Dracula does not care about OSHA standards and just has like no handrails anywhere, just
Oh, I know. It
open freaking like
it
things. One
in
of the other worst dynamics of this stupid game is there are stairs, but for whatever reason, if you do not actively decide to go down or up the stairs, you go through them, which doesn't
right.
make sense.
Yeah, which I'm demonstrating now, and that is like one of the things I remember just making this game hard to approach for the first time because yeah, you walk up these stairs and if you don't push down to indicate you want to go down the stairs, you just fall at like lightning speed because his fall speed is crazy fast.
Yeah, so it's like okay, if they're like okay, well the jumping mechanics are a little clunky. It's like all right, so they're like so we're not going to make jumping an integral part of this. And oh by the way, just like you
He's gone.
jerk people, if you see, I just got crushed to death. Very very fine frame thing. But yeah, so it's like if jumping's going to be clunky, then you can't make jumping an integral part of your game, and that's what they did.
Yeah, and I would accept the argument that this game isn't quite as action oriented as Mega Man, so you don't need the controls. Like you said, you have to kind of work within the confines
I heartily
of the
disagree,
game.
but I'm prepared to hear your argument about that falsity.
No, I said I could
Every
make.
bit is action.
So I didn't say I had that argument. I said someone could. I,
Who?
I, I don't know.
Someone drunk that hasn't
Maybe
played the
somebody
game?
could make a good argument.
My
Like
cat? My cat could make that argument, I guess. I
your
don't know
your
where I'm
cat,
going with
maybe. I
that,
don't
man.
know.
It's been a long week.
It does have
Fun
these
week.
cool door transitions, which is very Metroid-like. But again, like I don't think anyone claims this first game is a Metroidvania, even though it is a Castlevania. Because like you said, there's not really anything Metroid-like about it. It's just a platformer. And I don't want to say just a platformer because that's, tried and true. Like, that's a totally great genre, right? There's nothing wrong with it. And I just missed
my
the
easy
turkey.
Point, my pork chop, but anyway.
Pork chop? I just thought it was a turkey.
It's
Like it's been sitting in this castle, in this wall for thousands of years probably, and as soon as I open it, it's there for 4 seconds and it disappears.
Do you want a bigger theory? It's like maybe there was a bird stuck in the wall, and the speed of your whip killed it and cooked it.
Oh, and apparently there is a timer. I was wondering, I was wondering what that sound was. Like, why does it sound like my microwave is buzzing at me? Yeah, back. So
Well,
this does.
Speaking of which, to be normal, you're cooking a turkey as we watch.
Yeah. So this game does have some very classic Nintendo old school game things, right? Like you already mentioned, it has a score, which you don't see as much anymore, and it also has a level timer. Why it has a timer, I don't know, but I only have 199 units of time to get through this level before I just fall over dead for no apparent reason.
Well, okay, so actually that dynamic to a degree makes sense, just because of. Here's an interesting thing about how this game works that almost gets kind of D&D. So maybe the reason you can kind of start lumping this in the Metroidvania category is that you do have, one dynamic of this game. Let's see, get to the left. Sorry.
Also, I just want to note that this game has a
I don't know if you just saw in mine. I'm about to fight Medusa, and you'll see just how broken the holy water is. Because like, I went into Medusa with like no life and just like spammed holy water, and holy water like freezes enemies and kills them. But this game has like a power system where basically you use hearts. Hearts are not health. Hearts are energy.
Yeah, that was a
you
little
have different
confusing.
You have different weapons that take different types of energy.
Is this a boss
so,
or
for
just
instance,
a really
you have
big
this
bat?
It's the boss, but he will show up later as just a normal boss, which is a nice convention. And on the levels in this game, so basically all of the enemies in the level do the same amount of damage.
Alright, I killed him.
The game gets progressively.
First try, easy.
Good job. Nice job killing the first boss. There's a glitch on that boss to kill him where you can kill the boss if you let him hit you and hit him at the same time on the very first frame.
Interesting.
Because there are weird dynamics in this game, how it calculates damages. Basically, you do more damage if you're hit at the same time, and enemies do more damage to each other if they're stacked on each other. So there's a mummy boss coming up that when you defeat is actually really easy to defeat, because what you do is you get the mummies to stack on each other, and then they're easier to die. Cool,
so
right?
I do want to say that map in between levels is really cool. I always thought it was cool when games had
like I said,
maps.
like I said, my interpretation of this game is it is Super Mario Brothers with, as they already said, it's Super Mario Brothers but done with a, it's basically a Super Mario Brothers game with a horror movie theme with a much worse engine.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, so by the way, let's go on I want to go on my fun tangent, my fun silly tangent, because this is a joke like 8 years in the making, I want to say now.
Yeah.
So I'm a big bowling fan, just kind of tertiarily. And what I'll really throw out about being a bowling fan is it's just a really easy spectator sport, and it's not big enough where it gets like flagged super easy on YouTube. So like if you want to watch full bowling matches, that is really easy to do on YouTube and a heck of a lot of fun.
Hmm.
And I would also say that bowling has the best finals format of any, like, I guess you could call it major sport. Like the top prize for this last event is $100,000, which, in none of the major leagues would be anything. And it was like, a multi-week huge event with some of the best players. So, it's cool. It's up there. There's a good movie called The League of Ordinary Gentlemen about the kind of the rise and fall of the PBA, which is the Professional Bowlers Association. That was really, really big in the 80s. Like bowling in the 80s was a big old deal. And then it kind of fell
What is
down
this?
and Microsoft purchased it. What do we got?
I don't know, like a glowing magical chest appeared behind me, so I had to go get it.
Oh
It
yeah,
just
so
rose
that's
up out
just
of the
money.
ground.
Yeah,
Uh,
that's part of this game. It's not really obvious where, like, compared to other, like, when we, again, why I'm like almost offended that
oh my
Metroid
god,
and
these Medusa
Castlevania are
heads.
lumped together. But Metroid and Castlevania being lumped together,
Yes.
like, Metroid has a bunch of hidden stuff that is, I would argue, and have made the argument, is pretty, like, clever and intuitive, if
Hmm.
that makes any sense. As in, yes, there's like a random thing hidden behind a wall, but an enemy like comes, like, by the time Super Metroid comes around, they've nailed it. Like even Metroid, there's stuff like that where you go through a level and like you see a bat flying through a part of the wall and you're like, oh, maybe I can go through that part of the wall or something.
Right.
So that's really cool. Um, in
Oh my
here, there are
god.
a lot of hidden things. You can bust open walls. You can find hidden treasures, but that is contingent almost on like you knowing what you're supposed to do. And it's not even really like intuitive. Like there are parts of Metroid where you kind of look around and I bet I'm supposed to hit something here, right?
Yeah.
This not so much, where it's just like, oh, by the way, you jump at the very start of the game. If you jump open the door and go to the right, a treasure appears. Why? Like that doesn't even like make sense in game dynamics. It's just there. So in terms of linking the Castlevania and Metroidvania kind of experiences, it's kind of like, I don't agree. All right, but let's get back to the joke. PBA. So by the way, for those that don't know, the way the PBA works for finals is they have a step ladder format. So you have a big tournament of some sort that whittles the field. So you might start with 100 people or something or whatever, and you whittle the field down to 5 people usually. Oh, get the invincibility frame. And you whittle it down to 5 people. And then what you basically do is you seed those people, and number 5 plays number 4 for one game. And the winner of that goes on and plays number 3. The winner of that goes on and plays number 2. The winner of that goes on and plays number 1. Fun times, right?
Oops.
So that's how bowling, and so like bowling is a heck of a lot of fun because when you go to watch a finals event, which I did, I went and saw the PBA World Series of Bowling finals this last weekend, which is where this joke's about to finish. I got to see basically 5 of the best bowlers at the time compete against each other, which is really fun, right? So like you normally go to a normal finals game and it's, two teams. Whereas this, I got to see 5, which is a heck of a lot of fun.
Nice.
Now, the fun part is I like this event. I like talking about it. And occasionally one of our fun games we as friends have is I'll talk to you about sports. And you're not as big of a sports fan as me, although I think you've gotten into soccer, right? So, a little.
That's kind of a, yeah. Well,
Yeah.
sure. For the purpose of this conversation, yes, I'm a big soccer guy. Oh my god, there's a trick to this jump. I'm gonna figure it out. Don't worry, everybody. Don't worry, I've got this. I'll figure it out. But yeah, big soccer fan. That's me. I know.
And so, but I would talk to you about, occasionally I'll bring up any type of event. I'll just be like, how about them Nuggets? And you'll be your sardonic, jokey self. And you'll be like, oh yeah, I hear they're really good at the bluff. Now, one of the jokes you would make that was actually like damn clever. Oh, cool. There's a pork chop there. That's good to know. One of the jokes you would make is one of the top bowlers in the world, if not, well, the top bowler. So his name is Jason Belmonte, who has a career 15 major tournament victories, which is the most all time. I think the previous high was 11.
Wow.
So that should give you some perspective as to just how damn good he is. And I'd say, how about that Jason Belmonte? And usually this is in text because, we talk to each other in text more than in person, although now we talk like in person once a week. That's pretty cool.
I know.
Yeah, right? Other people... Oh, yeah, the Knicks. Man, I had a prediction on the Knicks and the Nets, or Knicks and the Cavaliers. I said they were going to go to Game 7, and Jalen Brunson and Donovan Mitchell were going to combine for 100 points in that game, and boy, did that take not hold up. But yay, Zortanks being an NBA fan, and also go Denver Nuggets. Oh, my God, I can't believe they're in the second round. So
Zortanks is a big Nuggets fan.
Yeah, because they're the best.
Yeah.
They actually are right now. And Nikola Jokic is the most impressive. I'm going to say this for all you Wilt fans out there. Yeah. Nikola Jokic is the most offensively gifted big man in the history of the NBA.
Yeah.
Period. Yeah. Even more than Wilt, because Wilt couldn't shoot free throws. But anyway, so I would bring up bowling to you, and I'd, say, hey, how about that Jason Belmonte? Because he's so damn good. He just, wins a lot of tournaments and stuff. And you would always make the joke comparing him to Simon Belmont.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so I go to this World Series of bowling. I get a poster that makes it to TV. It never makes it super great resolution. I did get some lessons learned on if you want to get a poster at a PBA event, to make it and make it visible. So I learned some stuff about what font you want, and yeah, see right there on my screen, I just caused a treasure to appear by ducking someplace, and that's not intuitive at all, and doesn't even track or make sense, but whatever. And we'll talk about Giannis in just a second. But all I was going to say is, and then also the event was oversold. So I was supposed to go with my family. They oversold the event. There wasn't normal. I was supposed to sit in one of the stands where the signs would be more visible. But I made a sign comparing Jason Belmonte to Simon Belmont. And I got a photo with him standing next to me. And so what I said is, Simon Belmont is from Transylvania. Jason Belmonte is from Australia. That's true. So Jason Belmonte
it would be funny if it wasn't.
Simon. Anyway, I was like, Jason Belmonte throws strikes. Simon Belmont throws stakes. Jason Belmonte's nemesis are immortal vampires. Or Jason Belmonte's nemesis are immortal records. Simon Belmont's records nemesis are immortal vampires. I thought it was pretty clever.
That was pretty
good. I should have done a stronger font so it would show up better on TV, but it does make it to TV. And more importantly, I met the dude. Now, here's what's also funny about this event. Because it was the stepladder format, Jason Belmont, and I'm going to confuse that all night now. But anyway, Jason Belmonte started at the bottom of the ladder, so there was a good chance that Jason isn't going to make the whole event. He could lose in the first round. Mm-hmm. So there are 4 other bowlers. So there was another one I'm going to butcher this name because he's from Finland. His name is Santtu Tavanian, I think is how you say it. I'm pretty close. And another bowler compared him to a lion because he has this awesome hair. And you want to know a fun fact? Ready for a fun fact?
I am.
Okay, guess what is on the Finnish coat of arms?
A lion.
Just oh my God. You were so good at this guessing game. So basically, I said for him, I compared Santtu Tavanian, I compared him to a lion. And I made a similar poster that said, a lion is deadly from 60 feet. Bowling alley is 60 feet, by the way.
Easy.
To make that, I said, Santtu is deadly from 60 feet. I said, a lion is king of the lanes, Santu is king of or a lion is king of the jungle, Santu is king of the lanes. And then I said, a lion is on the finished royal coat of arms, Santu should be on the finished coat of royal arms. So that was pretty good. Because
Nice.
he is the rookie of the year. He's a 22-year-old rookie of the year for the PBA, which is pretty cool. So I basically made a sign for every bowler. Now, fun fact, Jason Belmonte made it just all the way to the final rounds. I could have just made one poster. But it was a lot of fun, and I got a picture with every bowler except one. And there's a guy named Anthony Simonson who had a press conference recently, very Marshawn Lynch-ish, where they were like he played really badly, and I guess the press conference didn't have a lot of people. So in that, they started asking him questions. He says no comment, no comment, no comment, and then gets up and leaves. And so I made a sign for him comparing him to a mime. And I said, Anthony Simonson, no comment. A mime, no comment. Anthony Simonson, no comment. A mime, no comment. So that was I basically would just do 3 sentences side by side that were comparing 2 things. And so for the record, for anybody interested, the full 5 were Jason Belmonte compared to Simon Belmont. That was started by Landon. That's from our joke. That grew into Santu Tavanian being compared to a lion. He was named a lion by Kyle Troop, another top PBA bowler. Then I did Anthony Simonson compared to a mime, and then I kind of ran out of steam, but I got one more good. There's a guy named Jacob Butterf, and I compared him to a butterfly just because the names are similar. And then the winner of the event, his name was EJ Hackett, and I compared him to Buddy Hackett because it was late and I was tired, and that was all I had.
Who's Buddy Hackett?
But I got photos with all these people. He was in Herbie the Love Bug, like.
Oh, of course.
He's okay. So this is really topical. You know how the Little Mermaid remake is coming out?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so remember the original Little Mermaid?
Yeah.
Remember the seagull in that movie?
Yes.
Remember the famous voice actor that did the voice of the seagull in the original Little Mermaid?
Oh, the guy from the Herbie movies.
Yeah, I hate you. But yeah, so I made posters for all of them, but then I also got photos with all of them except for the no comment guy, which is kind of funny. Like, I thought that was appropriate. I was like,
Nice.
I was able to get a photo next to all these top. So basically, the Simon Belmont, Jason Belmonte joke that we've had going for years came true for
finally
I have
paid
a
off.
picture of me finally paid off.
Oh my god.
So yeah, that was a lot of fun, and it's like, well, we're gonna have to do Castlevania now, right? If I go through all that trouble, we got to play the game now. So, yep,
it's true. So
Zortanks asked a very relevant question in the chat about this game. Castlevania said, "What is Giannis then?" So Giannis Antetokounmpo is a power forward, whereas Nikola Jokic is a center. So I guess I did use the term big man, but I should have said center. Basically, Nikola Jokic has averaged almost a triple-double in a season as a center, which is unheard of. Now, Wilt Chamberlain at one point in his career led the NBA in assists, but that was just because Wilt Chamberlain played like every minute of every game one season. So, anyway, Nikola Jokic, most impressive offensive, I'll specify center. And unlike Giannis Antetokounmpo, Nikola Jokic can shoot threes. As pertains to Castlevania.
yeah, much
right,
like.
So where are we?
So yeah, back to the game. Oh wow, you can freeze fire in midair. All right. Yeah, I'm glad you made that joke. That was pretty funny. That was a good picture.
Well,
It looked like he was at least amused by it.
So do you want a little more on that? This was pretty cool. So I walk up to him with the poster, and he does the natural thing where he's like, "Oh, you want me to sign something?" Mm-hmm. And I was like, "Oh, you can sign it if you want." And honestly, he didn't, and I don't care. I didn't want him to because I'm probably going to throw this away. EJ Hackett, the winner of the event, second youngest player in PBA history to 20 PBA titles, behind Pete Weber. But anyway, he was like, started to sign it, and I was like, well, you can sign it if you want. I was like, but I actually want a picture of you with it, if that's all right. And he was like, well, I don't know what it says. And he read it, and he was okay with it. I don't think he got it, but I'm like, I'll take it. So, that's all I'm looking for. maybe at some point if you're feeling bored, because that is on that is on the gram if you want to show it. I don't have a great, because I'm using like a 2 thing. I don't have a great setup for what I would normally have here to like show it. Or when I've been, and I have been thanks to you too as well, started breaking cards on this channel, which I do on other nights, and I finally got through Fleer 1990.
Nice.
And tomorrow I'm going to hop on to NBA Hoops 1989-1990, which has the rookie card of, do you know this one? I've mentioned a few times on the show.
Michael Jordan.
David Robin. No. Oh, man. Okay, so I got some comments there. But, yeah, I should let you talk, because that was a fun thing.
Anyway, hi guys. Yeah, we're playing Castlevania on 2TV game tonight. So
Castlevania, notorious for Giannis Antetokounmpo and Jason Belmonte.
yeah, I feel like I've gotten pretty far since we were last talking about Castlevania.
You and I are in the exact same spot because I keep dying. I'm going to give you a piece of advice if you get to the mummies at the end. There is a pork chop hidden in the mummies that you can bust open, which is really useful. Because that is one thing that's
I found it. I found it.
This game.
I need it. Are we sure that's a pork chop? These guys are killing me.
Well,
they're killing me.
Remember how we played Metroid? You busted out the manual and read stuff to confirm things. You should do that here.
Oh yeah, I was gonna do that and read the story and stuff. But instead,
Yeah,
can we talk about the? Can we talk about the heads-up display for a second?
What's the deal with skeletons? They jump, and they're skeletons.
So let's compare this to Mega Man again, because we like comparing things to Mega Man. Mega Man had a super minimal screen heads-up display, right? It just had the menu bar. It didn't even, or it just had your health bar. Didn't even tell you that it's your health or how much you have. It's just the bar until you equip a weapon. Then there's another different colored bar next to it. This one has something you saw a lot in these old games, which was this like heads-up display, like this panel of just all this information. And so it's got the score, it's got the time, it's got the stage I'm on, player, enemy. Enemy doesn't even do anything until the very end, right? That's just until the boss. Has like the weapon you have. It's got hearts.
Well, actually,
it's got P.
It has a. You don't have this in yours per se, but a similar point where like one of the bugs in Mega Man Secret, was that every time, was that some of your bosses, because the Godot game and modern computing is just so powerful, they just existed the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
So like you start the level and the boss like is basically just sitting there waiting for you, whereas in like traditional games like even this, there are some mummies at the end. They probably do not render the mummies until you get onto that screen, because if they did that, it would take a lot of computational power.
Yeah, definitely not.
But to that point, right, we have this enemy bar that is only like, I think each of these stages is like 5 long, right? I think there's 6, maybe 4. There's like
this thing right here with the castle
18,
sprite in the background is really cool, by the way. Oh, and I died looking at it. Oh, now I have to continue.
It's one way to die.
Very beginning.
Simon Belmont died like he lived. Look at castles.
So like with the heads-up display, there's actually kind of a lot going on in this game, right? There's, like you said, there's these hearts which are not your health, which is pretty unexpected. There's
and actually just the health, you only get these pork chops that are hidden, so it's like actually like a really unforgiving game if you don't know it. Like that's kind of an interesting thing to both you and I, is just kind of the playing against you're not even against each other, whatever, but just playing through this once is kind of just how unforgiving. Because I think if we follow the Mega Man pattern that Mega Man Metroid pattern we've kind of done on this show, at least for me, which is play it once blind, go through and play it with knowledge and practice. Like I would be willing to bet that next week if we continue on this, we'll beat it in like 30 minutes. Like I've seen a walkthrough of the game, and it's not that hard if you know what you're doing. But like clearly, from a first time go through, it's kind of unforgiving.
It is, and that's what made it difficult. Like when I was younger, whenever I like cousins had it or whatever, and so like not only is there all this kinds of money, right, and numbers. Like I have a score, I've got health, I've got hearts, I've got lives. I've got money, I guess. Um, which I don't know what that does. Of course, you have the items, and also like your main weapon here, the whip, which is has the cool name Vampire Killer. Um, I think they named it after that other game. Um, like it starts out like just kind of this small like bullwhip looking thing, but it you quickly get these power ups for it that make it like this chain mace looking thing, and then another one that makes it longer, so you have further reach with it. But if you don't get that like when you spawn, then you just have like this wimpy little whip that doesn't even do as much damage or reach as far. And that's in addition to all these other weapons you get and power ups. And I just landed on that, which killed him. I'm probably gonna die here because I've got one hit point left, and I don't know where any pork chop sandwiches are.
But yeah, I was gonna say after this death, you should look up the manual. That was fun about Metroid. And I don't count like. By the way, very similar to bowling, because we're gonna stay on that theme too.
Yeah.
The way like bowling works, right, is they have like time to like practice on the lane, because it's actually super duper important. This matters more for you than me when we used to bowl against each other, though I've kind of tried to emulate it in a sense. Is like you're almost a Jason Belmonte, except you do one hand, you do like a semi two-handed throw, right? Because you basically hold the ball with one hand and just you leave your thumb untucked.
Yeah.
Which lets you do a wicked spin. And Jason Belmonte does the same thing, but he like basically walks, like runs up, almost like runs up to the lane, uses two hands to like throw the ball as hard as possible while also keeping a thumb out so it gets lots of spin. And it's a major contention because, you know, the traditional bowler is, you know, you hold the ball in one hand and, you know, cock the hand really high behind the back of your head if you're a really good bowler, and then you use that, and then, you know, you basically do a combination of, you know, wrist movement to get spin on it, and then also just like arm strength. And two-handed bowlers do that as well, but instead of doing it like from a high up down, they kind of basically do kind of almost looks like an underhand throw, but they get like tons of rev rate and stuff on the ball, so it's pretty cool. But you kind of do that. But you would notice on bowling alleys, like the oil pattern matters, because essentially they oil the lane up to a certain point so that the ball will basically slide across it, and then at the very end of the lane the oil goes away, which allows the ball to spin. And so, but depending on if they've oiled the lane well, it basically will, it depends on how long it will take before your ball will catch and start hooking.
Right.
And so like the one problem with playing it like house bowling is if you just like go in the middle of the day, there's no guarantee the last time they ran oil on the lane. So like you'll try and throw a spin and the ball will immediately spin, because instead of going down the lane, and for professionals there are certain oil patterns that, you know, you kind of have to aim to be able to hit the oil, and it's really easy to miss the oil. So
yeah, that'd be pretty frustrating.
Much
Or
like
if it was over oiled, like, and then the ball's like spinning, but it's just sliding the whole way down, so it basically goes straight. Much like Castlevania.
And I was gonna say, when you die next, you should read the manual, because that was fun. Oh, and then the comparison was like, yeah, this isn't for nothing. It was like a practice round, both learning the game, realizing how stupid it is.
See, the more I'm like, this is the furthest I've ever been in the game. Like what you're seeing now. Like I've never gotten this far. I've never played it this much. And like I'm on stage 9, because apparently your stages go up every time you go through a door, which is kind of, oops.
Yeah, and it is really Mario based, because like you basically have 6 levels, because I think there are 6 bosses. It's the bat, it's the Medusa, it's the zombies, or the mummies rather. It's the mummies, it's Frankenstein and his monster, it's death. That watch this online. Watch what's coming up. This is what makes this game notorious for being just BS. It'll come up soon, but basically I jump and just get knocked like 4 feet back and fall down.
Yeah, it's very frustrating. And yeah, in like getting knocked in games is or in these old games for a long time,
Well,
it's common. But like, oh, I got the
well,
wrong
so
thing.
like
I think I
Mega
want the
Man,
other.
because we keep comparing it to that. One almost forgivable part about Mega Man is like, yeah, there was some control. So in some ways, as you got better at Mega Man, it almost turned into like, oh my goodness, I just got hit. Can I tap forward fast enough to not fall, or can I
Mm-hmm.
use an, and like Zelda 2, one of my favorites, where you got the fairy spell. It's like, okay, I'm about to
Easy
get knocked
first
into a
try,
chasm.
no problem. I'm the
Oh
greatest
yeah, because
vampire
if
hunter.
you stack them on it, that isn't the first try though. I thought you already got to them before.
First try, easy, no problem.
Didn't I have to tell you about the pork chop? You know how to beat them?
Going in
Too easy,
blind with
right?
no information. Never even heard of this game. Oh, look at that! It's got some nice vertical scrolling there as we fall. It's another
Hey,
another
you're going into the
uh,
sewer.
yeah. Also brought to us by Mega Man Secret. They're like, man, we really like this Mega Man
Yeah.
Secret game. We're gonna do all the same stuff. So so yeah, like going back to like sounds like you don't like this game very much, but at least with what you were just saying. And I was never
It's
a big
it's
fan
it's
of it.
it's it's not like Super Metro. Like I would say, compared to all the other games we've done on the stream so far, it is not one where I'm like, oh wow, this just is beautiful. But I'm kind of getting Mega Man 3 kind of symptom that I know you had, which is just like I'm kind of getting Stockholm syndrome, wanting to beat this and get good at it and
Oh, I
be able
can't
to do
stand
that
on
by
that.
next week.
Yeah, and so like initially I've like I said, I've never really been a fan of this game. I always thought the controls were really weird. Even back in the day, the jumping is strange, the stairs are strange. But as I'm playing it now, just kind of playing it, talking about bowling, like it's kind of fun. Like I'm enjoying myself, and it's not as bad as I remember. And there are like I just fell in the water and died really dumb way. But it's got this cool splash animation, which as much as I was like kind of making fun of the graphics to begin with, like it's got some pretty nice details, and some of the sprites are pretty cool. Like these bats are pretty cool. That
I love
splashing
bats.
sprite is pretty good. That's a pretty nice detail for an old Nintendo game. Um, these things are pretty ugly. These like fish monster guys. but but no. So
Oh,
like this isn't. I don't think this is a bad game at all. Like and as much as I was saying it doesn't hold up as well as Mega Man, and I definitely stand by that. Like it's not as oh no, I was totally on that platform. I take back everything I was about to say. This is horrible, horrible game. Nah,
yeah,
I'm just kidding.
agreed.
I like this game. I think it's not bad. Like you do have. Oh my god. It is an old Nintendo game, and it's not one I would necessarily at this point say, oh yeah, everybody should play it if you haven't. Because it is a very. Aw, um, it is a very important game, right? Just because.
Ish.
Well,
Oh, and like I was gonna say, does this show up on the Wikipedia page as well? The fact that it's called Castlevania. I forget like the original title, but the original title was like Vampire Killer Death or something, like you were saying.
yeah, it's like
And they were
Devil's Castle Dracula or something like that.
like, hey, maybe don't. Well,
like
so here's
that's
what's
not a
also
bit much.
here's what's also amusing, and we've talked this some on the Nerd podcast with Dre and Jeff. Oh, by the way, you should have a Tick omnibus headed your way, so you can finally enjoy that episode. The Magic the Gathering episode dropped. I forgot. You heard that one, right?
I did listen to Magic the Gathering,
I
and
think we.
I did get the tick. I started reading it already. Thank you for that. That is awesome so far. Um, but yeah, I'm not very far in yet.
Yeah. But all I was gonna say is, we've talked a little Nintendo on that show. Maybe at some point, well, we had a whole season on it.
Oh, I have to
Season
duck
being
there.
3 episodes. Yes.
Hmm.
Um, you have to goose later, but uh, in the 80s, kind of, they didn't. Video games were kind of a bad word. So their kind of backdoor in to the United States market was
I'm just gonna
to be an
restart.
entertainment system and to be a toy. That's why it's Nintendo, and it's the NES, because in Japan it's the Famicom,
Hmm.
which is the family console, I believe is what that's supposed to be short for.
Family computer,
And
I think.
yeah, it's com, not con. So yeah, it's
Yeah.
family computer, and like in the United States, they call it the Nintendo Entertainment System. Like, it's a game, it's a toy, it's got a robot, it's fun, it's for
Hmm.
kids. Which changed a lot of things too. It's why it got very gendered, because a lot of electronics early days wasn't as gendered, and it kind of like a lot of the video game stuff turned that way, which is a bummer. That's life. But yeah, so when they're trying to sell these games, if you're trying
Whoops.
to sell a game to an adult, that's one thing, right? You can say like, oh yeah, you're killing vampires, that's fun. But if you're trying to proclaim the system and the hit games are for kids, you can't really do that. So when that happened, they were like, okay, well, he's in a castle, and Dracula's from Transylvania. So what about
Oh
Castlevania?
my god.
That was how the title came about
And
of
it's a cool name.
Castlevania. It was
Castlevania is a cool
it's a cool
name.
name. And I was gonna say it, just adding that Sylvania suffix, I think is cool, and I think that's why they're Metroidvanias. Because they're like, man, it's like, yeah, like combine Zelda and Metroid, or
So
combine, or even, yeah.
yeah, so if you want to talk more about Metroidvania, um, first of all, it's kind of interesting that you were um, just talking about like where Castlevania name came from. Transylvania. Metroid came from Metro Android. And so Castlevania is like a combination of two words that were already combinations of two words. Whatever like a double portmanteau is. Um,
What? Wait. What? Castle's a combination of words?
Castlevania is.
Oh. Okay. So you're saying, oh, yeah. So it's technically four. So let's do the full thing. It's So if
Metroid.
Metroid is Metro Android,
Yeah,
but Metroid, yeah. So it's Metroid. It's Metro Android Castle Transylvania.
yeah.
I played that game.
I'd play it. Some say we are playing it. Um, but of course, like back when Metroid came out and Castlevania came out, there was no such thing as the Metroidvania. Like nobody. Whoops, I forgot I can't land on that. Like that term hadn't been coined yet, right? People weren't initially grouping these
Yes,
two games.
the word to describe the thing that later. Uh, I got nothing. I was going to try and be sarcastic, and I fell on my face.
That's okay.
Sorry.
It's worth the effort. So like I'm not. I was gonna look it up. I forgot to look up when that term was coined, but I didn't start hearing it until PlayStation's Castlevania Symphony of the Night was released, which borrows very heavily from Super Metroid. And like the mini map is exactly the same as Super Metroid, for example. And I'm not that familiar with like the sequels to this game, like 2 and 3, which were also both Nintendo games, right? Oh, I just keep messing that up. So I'm not sure if they're more Metroid-like. And so for a long time, being a big Metroid fan, not really being a Castlevania fan, I was also like one of those people. I was like, oh, you shouldn't be calling it Metroidvania. It's just a Metroid game, you know. They're like, what did they do? But
Yeah,
after,
you were pretty wise as a kid. It sounds like.
well, as
Sounds like you knew what you were talking about.
as
So
a wise,
you've gotten sillier as you've gotten
20 year
older. It
old.
sounds like.
But then 2 or 3 years ago, I did finally get around to playing Castlevania Symphony of the Night, and that game um, by itself is enough to warrant calling it Metroidvania. Like it is such a good game,
No,
and it adds so much to the genre.
it doesn't matter. It's like you don't call it just because.
I mean,
Um,
I hear you. Like they could just be called Metroid likes, but Metroidvania sounds better. From
Here's a
from
question: Why
cool
does
word
Metroid get the
perspective.
why does Metroid get the full name, but Vania? Yeah, they just wanted it for the suffix.
Yeah.
That's it. They just wanted that Vania because it sounded cool. They're like Metroid. They're like Metroid-like game sounds boring. I mean, cooler suffix. So like, sure they did in Castlevania. You just
birds
throw Vania on the end of stuff, and it's
dropping
cool.
on me? Yeah, in the genre itself became a lot more popular, I think, after Symphony of the Night. And the genre like really got popular in the last 10 years, I guess, during where we are now in the golden age of indie games, and indie game developers love making Metroidvanias, and I'm all about that.
Yeah, you should make one for fun. You're probably doing that right now. It's a secret project, right?
Could be a secret project. It's not, but I wish it was.
He's not denying it, chat. You heard it. Oh, by the way, I don't have my camera tonight. I normally do, but because I'm on a weird system setup, I don't. I was gonna throw out though. I got some fun stuff. So, Rickster and I traded gifts. So as noted, I finally sent him a copy of the Tick Omnibus. The Tick being an indie comment, kind of released sporadically in the late 80s and early 90s by Bed Englund, who went on to do a lot of stuff in pop culture. Kind of interestingly enough, actually did get like 3 versions of the Tick made. So he got a really good animated cartoon made, which you can get on Hulu now. So if you have Hulu, it's on there. It's pretty good. It's really good, actually. There's a Tick animated TV show. There was a live action version starring Putty from Seinfeld that was released in like, I want to say like like right around 2000, sometime in there. And then a really amazing live action version that was just released on Amazon that was sadly canceled after 2 seasons. So yeah, that's where that came from. And Landon sent me a bunch of trading cards, including, so if you check out twitch.tv/nerd numbers, I actually did some unpacking of these. Yeah, or actually we did that last week on this show, didn't we?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
We can maybe do it again. I'm gonna maybe call it quits in a bit here and like actually learn how to play this stupid game.
No, see, this game is awesome. Like, I'm liking it more and more. Yeah, it is very unforgiving. Like, it is what I would call Nintendo hard. Like, where games were really unforgiving in kind of unfair ways.
But you sent me some packs of trading cards, which are awesome. One of the best, like I'm shocked by this, is you sent me a pack of Gremlins 2 trading cards.
Mm-hmm.
And that set of cards is so much better than it has any right being. Now, I'm not, and that's what's ironic. I'm quoting Jeff May again. This actually came up one of the nerd shows. But like, Gremlins 2 is a really clever movie. It's a satirical movie satirizing itself, really funny, really well made.
Is it clever?
Like, when I'm like, it is. But when I'm saying, oh, the Metroid 2 card set is really good, and you're like, oh yeah, that movie is underrated. It's like, no, I'm not talking about it's good because the movie's good, because, as an example, we're playing video games. Video games traditionally, based on movies, are terrible.
Right.
So I'm saying, traditionally, when you have a trading card set based on a movie, it has no reason to be great. It's just like pictures from the movie. And they can be anything, but the Gremlins set of trading cards is like well thought out, cool cards. Like
they were cool.
The backs correspond to the front. You also got me some Growing Pains trading cards,
which
and
are still
I don't
the
understand
funniest.
what's going on. Just like random episode titles with a picture from the title, then with a quote on the back that has nothing to do with the picture on the front, and I'm like, what the hell is this?
Yeah, so, it's very strange.
Yeah.
Oh my God, slow down.
But in the box you sent me these cards in, you sent them in the box that you got your new phone in. So for those,
that's right.
For those that were interested in the fact that Rickster got a new phone,
Yeah, that turned out to be
Yeah,
a perfect box
I've
for it.
got, I've,
Ah,
I've got the, I've got.
man, why does he fall like he's standing on Jupiter? Like this makes no sense. Like,
Come on. Oh,
can you imagine like
I
stepping
got a
off the
double
stairs
KO.
and instantly experience spaghettification?
I got a double KO coming up, by the way, which is a real bummer, but cool that I did it.
Nice.
Unlike other people on this stream, I got a double KO on my stream, so
Wow. Wow. Well,
just saying.
I'm working on it.
Takes skill to be as bad at games as I am, is all I'm saying. And some people are good at Nintendo games, some people are gloriously bad, and I'm just saying, which are you?
I don't know. Is that for maybe it's not for me to decide.
Yeah. But yeah. So what do you think of your new phone, by the way? We didn't ask much about it.
Oh no, I totally made that jump. It's fine.
Because of your phone?
For anyone wondering, it's a Samsung S23. I'm saying the name of it in case Samsung wants to give me money, um, or sue me for
Well,
talking about their
what are
phone
you
without
about to
us.
say? You're like, you know, because I know if I'm a sponsor of a hit Twitch stream, I know for a fact that when the Twitch, you know, when the popular Twitch personality says, "Oh, you know, it's fine," I'm just like, "Oh man, the dollars are gonna come rolling in."
Yeah, here they go. No, so it's
I'm gonna do. By the way, here's what I'm gonna do on my stream. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do. So I've got 2 lives left on the current stage. I'm gonna do 1 continue after that. After that, then I'm gonna get my rig back up for card unpacking. I'm gonna unpack one of your cards, one of your packs that you sent me, maybe, and then a hoops. That's all, and then if that's cool with you.
yeah, that's fine. No, I totally know. I just went through
It's
the platform
possible
there.
you'll beat the game, but you're not even to the hardest stages yet.
No, I'm definitely not gonna beat it. Like, because this is the first time I'm really sitting down to play the game. I don't expect to. I still have a
Yeah, I'm
lot to
definitely
say
gonna
about
practice before next week. Yeah, what we got?
Metroidvanias. Like man, Symphony of the Night, so good. Like no, so like
Should
this
we?
this game,
How long is Symphony of the Night? Should we play it on stream?
it's I don't know. It's long. I think it's longer than Super Metroid.
I mean, Super Metroid wasn't too long. You can beat Super Metroid in 2 to 3 nights, depending on how good you are.
Yeah, in like I'm sure you can get through Symphony of the Night faster than I because like I've only been through it once. Like I would be kind of curious to see what the other early Castlevania games are like to see if they led up to Symphony of the Night or if Symphony of the Night, if Konami is like,
I've told you this before. Weird thing about me is Castlevania 2 was one of my favorite games. And actually, I had in 3rd grade, Darius. I remember you, Darius. If you're watching, still angry at you. Can't do nothing about it. I don't know if you would do this when you were in grade school, but we would do cartridge swaps. So you
mm-hmm.
know, Nintendo games.
Yeah.
Like that's the thing is for what it's worth. Like anybody in the modern era complaining about video games, like, oh my god, they're charging $60 for a new Madden or a new NBA 2K. It's like that used to be the cost of video games, and there's this thing called inflation. So
Yeah.
basically, like if your parents were going to get you a brand new video game, it was kind of like buying you a new TV nowadays.
it was
um,
they were expensive. That's why we only ever rented because yeah.
You could rent, or you could buy used, or you could trade with friends. So that was kind of the. Yeah, I don't think I had a whole lot of new games. I think maybe was definitely spoiled. I'll confess that compared to other friends. Like sometimes we talk like childhoods. I'll be like, "Remember this?" It's like the other people are like, "No."
Remember when the butler
so I
would,
was like super.
you know.
Well, I mean, I knew those people. So like, I had a friend named David Mansfield who had Zelda 2. I really want him to trade, and he never did. Like he was the rich kid that had like all the games new and whatever. I was the one that could get like a couple new games a year. Maybe like a birthday and a Christmas. and then the people that couldn't get any. So, but you would do cartridge swaps. You would say, hey, I have this game. I'll trade you that game. I'll trade you that game. You trade me your game, and it's a collateral system. So, if you don't give me back, this scenario was mine. I traded Castlevania 2 for Tetris. And it's like, hey, you don't give me back my Castlevania 2, I get to keep your Tetris. And Darius never gave me back my Castlevania 2. Now, what you would say is that is an insanely good trade for me. Tetris is a superior game. It has much more replay value than Castlevania 2, to which I say, where's my Castlevania 2 at?
Yeah.
So yeah, that happened. But I really liked Castlevania 2, and I think it's a Nintendo Power. So what's interesting about it, comparing Castlevania 2 to this game, is Castlevania 2 up till, so this is my last continue, by the way. Castlevania 2 up until Dracula doesn't have bosses. You basically have to get through a maze, and at the end of the maze, you stick a stake in an orb for some reason, and then you collect a body part of Dracula for some reason, and then eventually you fight. Then eventually you bring Dracula back to life, and then you kill him. That's the game.
That sounds awesome.
For some reason. Yeah, we can play it. You can play it next. I mean, that's on the docket based on what you're saying. So we'll see if we just keep going through, because there's Castlevania 1 through 3, and then I think it would be Symphony of the Night. But
then there's Super Nintendo ones. But yeah, there are a lot of Castlevania games.
All right, so welcome to 2TV Castlevania Gaming.
Yeah, all Castlevania all the time.
Do that. I mean, there are channels around it. Like we actually brought him up on stream, but there's a guy named Oats and Goats who's just really good at Metroid. Streams Metroid all the time.
Yeah.
And you're like, that's awesome. That's pretty cool, Oats and Goats, and he's a really good Metroid player.
Yeah, there's definitely some retro streamers out there who are focus on certain, especially speedrunning games that they're just very good at.
But yeah, I actually really dug Castlevania 2, but it is it's a Nintendo Power game through and through. If you want to try and play it blind just to see if there's any chance that you would know anything, because at one point you need to get a jewel and face the wrong way to get a tornado to show up to bring you to a part of the map, and you have to drain a swamp at some point. I think makes a lot of sense.
That can be a. Oh my God, there's something about this level I'm just not understanding. But that can be kind of a delicate thing, right? Because it's one thing to have really random or obtuse ways to get through a game, and then there's another to have cool secrets, right? And like you were saying, that's something that the Metroid games do better than this for sure, right? Because it's kind of where they have hidden items.
There is something ridiculous, Super Metroid. I mean, we kind of agreed. I think I would say the following, and we brought this up. I hate the power whip thingamabobber in it. I hate it. It is one of the worst gaming dynamics I've seen in a game, and I'm still comfortable giving it a perfect score with that. So I can basically be this dynamic is terrible. It has no place in the game. It's completely out of place. It's terrible. It's clunky. I've seen it done better, by you. So I'm like, I can't even give.
Oh no. Go on.
In Super Metroid, I can't even give the defense of, well, this is a really hard thing to implement. I'm like, no. It's I saw a friend implement it on a weekend project, so no.
Yeah, it was really
with that,
what they decided to do with it, I think.
Yeah, but I guess that's what I'm saying. I'm saying Super Metroid is so good that I can be it's kind of like C-3PO in the original Star Wars movies, where a lot of people are annoyed by him. I guess behind the scenes, he was really mean to Kenny Baker, so that's not really cool. What is he? Daniels or something, Anthony or whatever. I forget his name.
Yeah, sounds something like that.
Some guy, Jerky McJerkface, who was mean to Kenny Baker, is his name.
I didn't know he was a jerk. That makes
Yeah,
me
he was
sad.
really mean to Kenny Baker on like stuff. So it's a bummer. Don't learn about your heroes.
Yeah. Not that C-3PO is a hero, but... Oh no, that was the worst jump ever. Stupid. So stupid. I'm so stupid. But... What were we talking about? Secrets in Metroid versus this?
Metroid just being a perfect game, and even being a perfect game where I'm like, oh, this part is terrible and horrible. And if you like listen to it, you're like, oh, so you're gonna ding it like 20 points. I'm like, no, it still gets 100.
Yeah, and
Like, is that good?
I'm kind of the same way. Well, like, it's my favorite game, right? So, like, of course I would... If I don't give it 100, like, what would I give 100, right?
I'm kind of annoyed at that because it's like a good answer. Like, it's like, no, you're supposed to like Goonies 2 or some crap as your nostalgic kid game, or Castlevania 2. Like, you like Super Metroid. Super Metroid's your favorite kid game. Oh, how original.
I know. It's everybody's favorite game. But it's because it's that good. But I would also... I thought I'd... There's a lot to learn about this game. But it doesn't feel unlearnable. But Castlevania Symphony of the Night, I think, is also that good. Like, I didn't play it until like I said, just a few years ago. So like way after the game was made, and it is extremely good, and it has a lot of things that I really like about the genre and about just like video games in general, and it does them really well. And a lot of that is around like the exploration and just trying to figure out like weird puzzles, right? You come across like statues and clocks and stuff, and you're like, what is this for? What does this do? And then you have to like kind of figure it out later.
Have you seen Glass Onion yet?
No.
Why?
Because I was watching Fast and Furious 7, okay?
That's fair. That's a reasonable excuse, actually.
Thanks.
I do not have a retort there.
But yeah, so I know we're supposed to be talking about Castlevania 1, but Symphony of the Night is the one that like really gave Metroidvania its namesake.
Whatever we want, dude. Like, it's our show.
And so like this is our time. Yeah.
Down here.
Wait a minute, we just well done. There's got to be a turkey up here.
Better than Glass Onion El Mariachi. Glass Onion was pretty good.
I need to see Glass Onion because I do want to see it.
Puss in Boots is really good. It's a really, I think I brought it up. Like, that's like a Desperado. It's like a Desperado sequel. Maybe a From Dusk Till Dawn sequel. Maybe a Zorro sequel. It's all the sequels.
Wow. Right, I think I understand this part,
Puss
but
in Boots is really good.
You can't mess up like that. Oh. Hated Glass Onion. Interesting. Now I'm gonna have to watch it and like.
Okay, wait. So you hated Glass Onion and you liked Knives Out? I am confused.
I'm gonna have to watch it and figure out why. I gotta.
Okay.
Now I'm more curious. Oh, crap.
See, my linear algebra book from college finally got use out of it.
Oh.
That's my stand.
Man, I don't know what these jumping guys are, but they're... Man, Dracula should have just sent a whole bunch of these instead not mess with like any of these other monsters in the game.
So so we'll see if we get to this. So now that I'm not actually playing, it's a little easier to not be as distracted. With the thing that we planned to do. But is there any amusement?
No.
What are you doing? Not you. Oh, okay, that's why. Elgato's gonna go away. Goodbye, Elgato. I'll miss you.
Goodbye.
Is there any amusement to the fact that, like, all of these different monsters are like living together? Like, this is Dracula. You're like we're entering Count Dracula's castle. You're like, cool, and just like Medusa's hanging out. Like,
Well,
what's she doing? What's she doing there?
they do call him Dracula, King of the Monsters.
I mean, I guess that's fair. I mean,
Yeah,
it's true.
but I don't know. In so already playing this game, just as far as we've gotten, like I see like they pulled a lot, not surprisingly, from this for Symphony of the Night. Like there's a lot of the same enemies, um, same types of things, except Castlevania is a true Metroidvania, and but it still plays much different than Super Metroid 2. It's sort of like, and that's part of the reason I consider it okay to, or like, I now welcome it into the Metroidvania genre and its namesake because it really does kind of give the other side of that genre that Metroid doesn't do, and simply because they're not because one is better than the other, but just because they're different ways of approaching kind of a similar platformer, exploring adventure platformer like that.
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
And I think there are reasons not to include Zelda in this
Oh,
genre.
okay, okay. This I want to hear. So, okay, this is actually like exciting. I'm not like, even angry. I'm like actually like I'm like, all right, this is the meat and potatoes of what we should be talking about. I mean, spent all this time talking about bowling. I can get with that. But I was gonna say, yeah. So, okay, so you're basically making the argument, which I'm pretty fine agreeing with, that the kind of Metroidvania concept came about um, from let me see, just Google Chrome. Sorry, basically came about really from the combination of, I would say, Super Metroid and Symphony of the Night. Kind of like
Mhm.
at that point, the games got to such a degree that at that point is when people were like, oh yeah, these are both the same kind of, open world exploratory games, which we just kind of noted, make, at that point. So like Metroid started as that, Castlevania became that.
I think my emulator hung up. Oh, it's back. Um,
Well, you should not do that. You should try not doing that.
yeah,
Just, just throwing it out
so
there.
so Zelda is different because there's a lot of similarities, and there's a lot of similarities in like a Metroid game in a lot of video games, right? Because like how would you define a Metroidvania or a Metroid game itself? And that's basically like it's a platform game with like this big interconnected world where it's where parts of the world are for the most part ability locked, as opposed to just getting a part in the story and then like a roadblock opens up or all being key driven. But there's a lot of like gray area there, right? And so my argument is something like Zelda is just kind of not platformer y enough to be a Metroidvania, and it's more item based versus like ability based and like how you move and play the game. And again, like I know it's kind of a gray area, but if you get too general with your description and saying, hey, anything that your character gets abilities and opens up new parts of the world, that's a Metroidvania, then the term Metroidvania becomes kind of useless, right? Because then it's like, oh, well, okay, every video game is a Metroidvania. There, that's helpful.
Okay, so the definition of Metroidvania would be what? Open world. That's obviously key.
So I wouldn't
Um,
call it open world
okay, so what do
because
we got? Well,
because
let us define a Metroidvania. I want to hear your definition.
only because when we use these terms, you're giving players an expectation of what they're going to be playing, right? And so when you say open world, people are expecting, Grand Theft Auto, um, Skyrim, things like that. Um, whereas this is more of like an interconnected world. It is kind of an open world, but it's more about. Let's see, I didn't like write down a definition, right? I didn't like think this through.
All right. Well, I'm not going to give you full credit. By the way, I did switch to yours straight. So, Zortanks, you might be interested in this, by the way. I'll try and weave it in organically. 1989, 1990 hoops cards. I'm going to start unboxing these. And then also I'm going to move Twitch so I'm watching. I don't know. Are you still playing? Because I'm seeing your emulator up.
I just have the title screen up. I reset.
I am excited about the possibility of a David Robinson. So you're saying not necessarily open world though, right?
Like maybe technically open world, but again, like if we want these terms to be useful when talking about games, then they can't be too generic or too general, and they have a certain like place. And so open world isn't something I would call this, like maybe capital O open world, like not necessarily. But I would say that they're platformers that have an interconnected world, which is where you can like keep going anywhere in the world you've been, and more of it kind of opens up as you progress through the game. Um, and largely like ability based on getting to new areas. Because like a lot of games have a lot of these different
So
uh,
platformer,
features.
interconnected world. Now, interesting. I'm curious because this is definitely a key part about like Metroid, and even Castlevania has some of it. We didn't really do any of it, but I mean, it happens like Castlevania 2. Would you consider sequence breaking part of the Metroidvania? Like that seems to like almost come about organically, but it is in there.
I would say it's definitely like an organic part of it. I don't think it's a requirement necessarily because then one could ask the question: is Metroid Fusion a Metroidvania? Because as far as like Metroid games in particular, especially go, it's pretty linear. Um, so that would be
That's a bummer. You've
an
got me
interesting question.
slightly off screen on yours. By the way, for cards, I just picked up a Charles Oakley. By the way,
Oh, here, let me.
Who would have helped the Bulls to a title earlier, but they traded him to the Knicks, and he was really, really good for the Knicks. And he's recently gotten in trouble with James Dolan kicking him out of the thing. So, so let's see. I would agree. So Zelda isn't always a platformer, and in fact, really the only platformer Zelda we got was kind of like, ooh, there we go, Dominique Wilkins All Star card. That's really good. The
Nice.
human highlight reel. The only like, curious what's on the back of this card. Oh, hmm, weird. That is a cool name. Jeff Lamb. I think this guy's made up, by the way. I think someone just made up
Sounds
the
made up.
name Jeff Lamb. Look at this. This isn't a like he's about to show. This is not a basketball player. This is completely made up. Jeff Lamb is not a real person. I refuse to believe it. But like, so you've got platformer, connected world is what you're saying, which is cool. And
Mm-hmm.
then sequence breaking is a part of it. But what you're really saying is because it's a connected world, you can kind of do what you want in sequence. Do you include power ups? I mean, that is from even Castlevania 1 kind of has that, which is maybe where you can start going back in time with that, where you do have this, you know, ability to gain weapons, ability to gain abilities that slowly open up the world to you.
If the abilities help open up the world, that's I think a big part of it, right? Um, as opposed to just getting the key to the next level.
So
I,
interesting. So it's like multi, because I mean that is kind of the case where Castlevania 2 starts hitting there, where for instance, certain weapons do like have simultaneous things that they do as well. So they both open up the world, but then they're also like usable. You can use them as a weapon. In that regard, you almost get to the point where if Mega Man
mm-hmm.
didn't do the scene select, if Mega Man actually had it where like you could kind of go through each level and maybe one, like maybe like Rockman's level had like 3 exits that could take you to other ones, that could make you could basically turn a Metroid game into a Metroidvania or a
The
sorry,
Mega Man game.
too many. Yeah, you know me. I confuse Mega Man and Metroid 3 times a show. You could turn a Mega Man game into a Metroidvania if instead of having a selection, you had like the levels move between and somehow, and they are, that we've already seen some of that, right, where like you can navigate in between different like rooms, like what you did at the end of Mega Man Secret. What you did at the end of that, where you're able to, take different exits to go different ways, and that was something they started introducing in 6. Although the irony is, I remember you were basically saying you hated that basically it's like you're not being a Mega Man. So it's like you could make Mega Man a Metroidvania, but then it ceases to be a Mega Man. And for what it's worth, Mega Man's kind of its own genre. By the way, I gotta throw this guy out here. Walter Berry apparently played like almost a decade in Greece and Italy, so that's kind of cool.
Hmm.
Never heard of him.
I mean, yeah, you could turn Mega Man into a Metroidvania if you gave it Metroidvania elements, sure. like, yeah,
But I'm
if you did
saying
make
the
it a big,
existing components of a Mega Man game, it would be trivial in my opinion. It's like that's an interesting, like we're talking this weird challenge. Like, what if you give Mega Man a whip, and instead of making scene select, you make it so that like 2 or 3 exits? Like, what if Jupiter Man's level goes out to Crash Man's level if you go one way, and goes out to Cleopatra Man's level if you go out another way? You could make Mega Man Secret a Metroidvania. I'm just saying.
I don't think that would be enough. Just having the levels go through a door instead of a menu. Um,
I'm saying if it was interconnected, I'm saying if it was, you could kind of like traverse the world in different ways. Like you could maybe
but
make it.
but again, that's an element, but that's necessary but not sufficient, right? So like another good example that some people might try to argue is Dark Souls. Like if you told me, "Hey, I've got this great Metroidvania for you," and you gave me Dark Souls, I would not be happy. I mean, I love Dark Souls. I think it is a masterpiece of a game. Um, Also, a lot of Stockholm syndrome going on with that game too, but that's a whole other thing. But it has one of the most expertly designed interconnected worlds I've seen in a game. Like it's just really well done. Um, and so like it would do any Metroidvania proud with how they constructed their world. But it doesn't play like a Metroidvania, right?
I guess. I mean, I never played Dark Souls, so I wouldn't be able to speak to that.
Um,
But I'll agree. So you're just saying just interconnected world. So it's interesting because we're kind of getting to this weird like you can have 3 or 4 of the ingredients, but it's not quite enough. By the way, I'm going to shout out Mike Ivaroni. There you go. Same birthday as me, and this is a retirement card. He was on the Utah Jazz last year. Does not play in 89-90. This guy is clearly made up, by the way.
More made up guys.
Steve Stipanovich. Like,
That's
no,
definitely made up.
that is not a basketball player. Somebody paid off their friend to get on a basketball card. That is the only way this. No, no. Uh.
But yeah, and so it's kind of funny if you go to like the Metroidvania like subreddit. There's always some thread going on of people arguing what is a Metroidvania, and it kind of becomes like sort of like this push and pull, like whatever the opposite of like what is like One True Scotsman, like oh no, it's not this unless this. But then there's also the other side where like they keep making it so general that yeah, like any video game is a Metroidvania, and like it doesn't have to be like this super scientific thing, right? It doesn't have to really nail down, and there can be a lot of gray areas, and like games can belong to multiple genres. But again, if you say if I go to the game store and say, hey, sell me a Metroidvania, and they give me Zelda or Dark Souls, that's not what I'm going to be expecting, right? It's not what I'm going to be looking for.
Oh, by the way, interesting factoid on this guy. On his card, he's listed as 7 feet. Basketball Reference lists him at 6'11". Kind of looks like related to you. You know this guy?
Oh yeah, we go way back.
Cool. I got 2 human highlight reels. It's not a bad pack. 2 Dominique Wilkins. I'll take it. The All-Star card and the main one. Here's a fun bit of trivia. I'm going to ask you about this. Completely related. This is not, yeah, this is my fun end of the night. So I'm going to open one pack of cards and then be done. As you know, NBA is a Metroidvania, as the Metroidvania subreddit says.
Wow.
People come in and say, "Hey, I got NBA 2K. Is NBA 2K a Metroidvania?" And it's well known that people are like, "Yeah, 100%." This guy was traded for Adrian Dantley, former number 1 pick. Oh, speaking of Glass Onion, this guy actually showed up when you and I were talking on one of these. Benoit Benjamin, not a good player, but I was like, Glass Onion. You didn't know what I was talking about. You still haven't seen it. You hate me.
Oh, I'll get to
That's
it.
fine.
I'll get to it.
You'll never get to it. It'll be like Ford versus Ferrari, where I'm like, you really should
Mm.
see this. You're like, I should, and you watch it. You're like, this was a okay pack of cards. I'm not going to open another one. This is a good end because it's kind of hard to talk video games and open and indulge my addiction to this. But that was fun. Welp, Chris Welp. Oh, this guy's terrible. This person is impressively bad. In 200 minutes of play, they almost lost a full game of basketball. Not bad. And this is his last season. And this card isn't even right. This card has him on the 76ers. He gets traded to San Antonio and Golden State this season, where he's terrible. All right. Well, there's that. Okay, so are we down to proceed to see? Like, I'm letting you know ahead of time. I kind of want to beat Castlevania. I kind of want to beat it on stream. So I was
Mhm.
going to practice before next week. You're welcome to do whatever you want to do.
Yeah, I'll probably practice it too. I would like to get through the game, just to have seen the whole thing. Um,
So that's the plan for next week, which is definitely fun.
uh,
Hopefully I'll just be good enough at it so that then I'm not like being like, now I'm going to open a pack of cards so I don't end the night just hating everything. By the way, this Hoops is my set. There was a corner store that got a box of these. It was like off. This is a funny combo of stories. They were often, they're like, hey, if you get a really valuable card, let us know and we'll buy it from you. I'm like, the most valuable card at the time is the David Robinson rookie card, which was, at that time wasn't even worth like $50, and still isn't. I got a Michael Jordan out of this set, and then I traded it. And a friend of mine got really mad because they wanted to trade for it, and I didn't trade with them, and I traded someone else. But I just love the hoop set. It's like one of my favorites. Like, this is just a really nice design, and like the back of the cards, like, you and I kind of talk aesthetics, and you really
mhm.
like sprite design and stuff. It just like, I love how these look. And
Nice.
like my favorite set, I think, is Hoops the next year, 1990, 1991, and then the one I remember the most is the Dream Team year. So these
Nice.
are fun cards.
Very cool. So do you have like a whole box of these too?
I have like a corner store collection of hoops box. So the way the hoops boxes work is more like baseball. So I just, the Fleer one I did with you, I did manage to get 2 complete sets with one box,
Hmm.
but they're only 198 cards. This one has 353. And what
Hmm.
Hoops would do is they would do an initial run and then they would do an update run with like rookies and call ups. And that's, I don't know. I think David Robinson's in the set direct, but then there are also the rookies. So I have 2 boxes of hoops, the original and then the set with expansion packs in it. So I have 2 boxes of those, and I have 2 boxes up through 92, 93. And 92, 93 is expensive because that is the introduction of 2 players. If you know them both, I'll give you 100 bonus points. 1992, 1993 is the year and draft of 2 major players that make the box worth more. Can you guess who they are?
Um, let's. I have no idea.
Shaquille O'Neal and Alonzo Mourning.
Ooh,
So that's why those are worth. And then 1992 is going to have Dikembe Mutombo, who I'm really looking forward to.
nice.
So bunch of fun. So I have like 8 boxes of cards to go through at some point, and at 2 packs tonight. Each box has 36. I got a bit of time, so I'm
Yeah,
excited.
and yeah, maybe next time if you want to open some cards, I still have the X-Men cards that I kept.
So I got to throw this out. I mean, I told you about this, right? Jeff May has his own unpacking card called "I Must Break You," and he opened some of these. He pulled a Gambit hologram card out of this today.
I
Out of
I
the X-Men set.
I did watch that. I tuned in a little after I saw your
Oh, so you
message.
watched it? What did you?
Yeah, watched the saw the
I
second
am
half.
mad how much I enjoy unboxing and like watching. Like I don't know.
That
It's
was
fun.
pretty fun. That was good. And it was cool that he had like the same, or yeah, like just some of these old cards. Like I wasn't even sure what's in there, but
I am looking forward because he has growing like well so and we've shared this story. So Landon sent me a selection of cards. These are the ones we got on deck. So yeah, maybe we should do that. Yeah, we'll do it next week. So we got X-Men, got Batman, got Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and we've already opened Gremlins 2 and Growing Pains. And then you also got me another Batman. And this is some I need answers. So someone on my Instagram said the Batman set gave them trust issues.
hmm.
I don't know what that means. So I don't know what's in here. I do not know what's in here. But it was enough to give a friend of mine on Instagram trust issues. I got to know what that means. Jeff, when I sent him along all these packs of cards, was like, I have all of those but this Batman. So I got your blessing to send this along to Jeff. So
Mhm.
at some point, I'm going to send the Chase Meridian. I'll put that on. I'm going to send the Chase Meridian from Batman Forever and the Batman Tops Series 1 set to Jeff at some point. So that'll be fun. But
Very
yeah, you
nice.
got me these. We did some unboxing. We did Growing Pains and Gremlins 2 already, which is those packs are unhinged in two opposite ways.
Right.
Gremlins 2, I'm just like, these are amazing cards. I don't get it. But yeah, and then Jeff on his did some Uncanny X-Men. This is a cool. These are really cool. So I'm looking forward to that actually. So yeah, maybe next week we'll do that. And what do you have? What do you got in your possession?
Um, hang on one second. Um, I have these.
Okay, well you're not on camera,
It'll
so
show up
that's
here in a second. Do you see
you
it?
have Castlevania 2. Press Start key.
No, you must be a little behind. Um,
I see myself showing X-Men cards.
really? How are you that far behind? Because I'm watching on my stream and it doesn't seem that far.
I don't know.
But
Okay, you've got the Uncanny X. Oh, you got blue. What's with this? You get the blue ones, sending me the inferior purple ones. I don't know.
yeah, I
It's
don't know.
one
I
better than.
I, I did like compare them. I'm like, which one should I send? Which one should I keep? I don't know. And then I was like, you know what? I decided I liked the blue one better. So I don't.
Oh,
There's no difference, is there? It's just.
I have no idea. Oh, by the way, this is cool about these cards. I just realized they're numbered on the top, which is really useful for like keeping them in order. So I've got my binder, and I'm gonna scare my dog and knock over my camera. That's
Wow,
my office.
that's
That's
exciting.
good stuff. My dog did not freak out as much as I thought he was going to in response to that. It's good. Good job, dog. Okay.
Yeah, I may have to figure out something else with my camera setup here because as you can see, I've got shaky cam as if there's like an earthquake going on here because I've got my camera mounted to a lamp that's shaky that's sitting on my desk that's kind of shaky apparently. So it's just
I've got
maybe
my
not perfect, but
binder of cards that has a complete set of 1990 Fleer in it. So looking forward to doing that. And then if they're numbered, it makes it really easy to collate. So that is where we are at. So next week, Castlevania, we'll probably get through that in about 30 minutes to an hour if we both practice.
okay.
And then some X-Men unpacking.
Yeah, that sounds like a
I'm down.
plan.
All right,
And
and
I've been
yeah. So sorry, El Mariachi, that you didn't like Glass Onion. It was a good movie. I disagree, but you know, everybody's allowed to like whatever you like. We all agree that Super. We didn't talk much about Super Mario Bros. Because you said all of you watched it
we did watch it, yeah.
and you liked it.
I liked it. I thought it was enjoyable.
It was a good movie. Yeah, I'd agree. I kind of compared it to Sugar. I was like, it's a sugar movie, but I like sugar, so there you go.
Yeah, that's a pretty good comparison.
All right. Anything to end on? I am impressed because when we were chatting before this show, I was like, I'm going to talk about Metroidvania and does Castlevania count and they should just be Metroid games and yada yada yada. and kind of I told you in chat, I was like, I think this will last 3 minutes, and then we'll start talking about Mega Man. To be fair, we did talk a fair bit of Mega Man, but I think
Hmm.
we kind of have to, right? Um, but no, I'm actually happy how long that discussion went on and how long that discussion can go on.
Yeah, it can go on for a while longer, I'm sure, as kind of collect some
Well, this
thoughts.
is good because apparently we're going to be. I mean, we could. So, as a refresher, what we did is we did the Mega Man games. We did the Metroid. We did the Metroid games, Metroid and Super Metroid. I mean, in theory, we could just do the Nintendo Castlevania games, and there are three of those, as I understand it.
Yeah.
And I have all three. I have all three on this little set I got.
Nice.
It's
Yeah,
cool being
I.
an adult, right? Where you can just like spend like $20 and you just buy like all your video games from childhood.
Oh, I know, right?
It's ridiculous.
Yeah, I would like to. I need to get a second monitor or try playing from my TV because these are on like that mini
You
Nintendo, and so that'd be
you know
fun to
you
play
can
on.
buy monitors.
Man, that's so. There's so many though. Have you
You
seen how
can.
many
Oh,
monitors there are? How do you know how to pick the
well,
right one?
you just okay. That is fair because I actually ordered a curve. Here's the thing. I will actually give you. This will be the story we end with. So I actually bought a curved monitor 2 jobs ago. I was working from home and I was like, I should get myself a curved monitor, which I did.
Hmm.
And I was happy with it and I liked it, but it was like, I don't know, like 36 inches or something. Like, what is that? A monitor for ants? Current job, they gave a home office budget, and then I kind of got to cheat in the not cheat, but in the sense was in terms of what I needed for a home office budget, I worked from home for years. So I have a home office, I have a desk, I have all this stuff set up, I have supplies. So I was like, well, I could, and it was a case where, you basically need to spend it or you don't get it. And I was like, well, I could just upgrade my monitor, which I did. And I was like, okay, well, I'll get rid of my old monitor. To justify it all, upgrade my monitor and then get rid of my old monitor. I'll sell my old monitor. And dude, selling monitors is just such a pain, and they're so expensive to ship. Like, these
Oh, I
cards I'm
bet.
doing right now. If I wanted, if someone was like, I'll give you $20 for those cards, you saw it, you did it to me, right? I could get an old phone box that I probably have lying around. I think for what, 10, $15, and that's if I want good shipping, like quality shipping with like insurance.
Hmm.
Ship them across, and it's fine. But like, you can have like a $200-300 monitor, and it's just a lot of work to like carry it. And I tried to sell it on like Amazon, not Amazon, Facebook Market, and I got like 2 no shows and a scammer. And I was like, this is the worst. So I will give you that where like monitors get into a weird position where like you don't want to buy a super good monitor because then if you have to get rid of your super good monitor, it's either expensive or a pain. So
Yeah.
I will actually give you that kind of funnily enough.
Yeah, it's one of those things I buy so rarely. Like I think I've bought like three monitors in my life, right? I just buy something and I just keep it a really long time. And that
Sounds
just
like a
kind of
good
gets
life.
yeah, well, that just kind of gets me into this position where like I feel like I have to have the perfect product, right? Because like what I'm trying to buy next is a gaming monitor because I play a lot of games. And
Yeah,
that
which
whole
clearly
that
we can
whole
tell because you have a good monitor. That's like one of the first things you
yeah,
need for gaming is a good monitor, and so we can tell you play a lot of games because you, as you just described, have a good monitor.
I've just one, but no, I need to get like a good gaming monitor, and that whole scene is just a mess. Like just it's ridiculous. But
Well,
but it was back when I bought my current monitor too, which is why I bought just a regular nice looking monitor because the gaming monitors were a mess back then too, and I'm like, well, I'm just gonna wait until that they get it figured out, and then they never did. Like 8 years
is it a
later.
flat? Is it a flat screen or a CRT?
What the one I have?
Yeah, what are you on?
Yeah, it's a flat screen.
Okay, that's
It's
not
a
bad. I was
it's
gonna
an
say if you were on
LCD.
a CRT, I would be like, oh my god.
No, not that old. The last CRT I bought was in college, I think. Must
Yeah,
have
which
been.
is that's
Yeah,
not that far ago. I mean, that's very recent, right? There's no way that was like 2 decades ago.
I know.
No conceivable way.
To be fair, like LCD monitors were becoming a thing when I bought that CRT, but even back then I could tell that CRTs were better than LCD, and I was like, I'm not gonna get a stupid LCD. I'm gonna stick with CRT, and that's the right decision at the time.
Mm-hmm.
But
All
it,
right.
it
Well,
eventually
so next
died.
show you'll have another monitor. You'll have your camera set up for unboxing cards. We'll beat Castlevania. We'll look at some X-Men. That sounds like a plan to me.
That sounds pretty good. That sounds.
This has actually been a lot of fun. I've said this before. Like, it's definitely cool. Definitely appreciate Landon's friends. Apparently not coworkers, which we never want to know. Apparently about your secret life as someone who plays video games.
Yeah,
Maybe one.
I guess. I don't know. No, my coworkers are all really cool, but it would just be kind of weird colliding of worlds. Um,
Fair enough.
but yeah.
But yeah, so this has been a lot of fun because yeah, I'm I have a kid, so it's not like I can go out to the even when he goes to bed, it's like not going to go out to the bars or nothing. Although you've been out here, you've been to Appleton.
Hmm.
You saw the downtown bar, the video game bar that we got.
It, Appleton's pretty cool. I thought I liked it.
I got to ask a weird question because I think you've been out of it for a while. I'm binding up my cards as we talk. Multitasking, which is super polite when you're talking to friends, right? Um, you're like done with Pokemon, right? You haven't really
Uh,
played much. I think the last time you played was probably when you were out here, right?
I actually played like a tiny bit the other day because a friend of mine brought it up. Um, but yeah, I don't really play anymore.
Only reason I was asking is Go Fest is going to be in New York this year. So I was debating trying to figure that out about maybe if like
Really?
we would go because it's in August. It's before school starts. So they've probably already sold out. So the decision's probably already made for me. But that would be interesting.
Yeah, let me know. August might be kind of a busy month for me, so we'll see. It depends on when it is.
Are you going to do like your motorcycle trip that you said you'll do one of these days?
No, I'm planning a
Should
trip
do.
out to South Dakota, and I may have a work trip in that time also.
Are you going to do it on a
Um,
motorcycle?
the work trip, maybe.
What? Did I lose you or is that me?
Uh, I
May
don't
have
know.
lost you.
I can still hear you. Um, hello.
Hello, hello.
Yeah,
Yeah,
can you hear me?
weird. I
Oh,
don't know if that was me or you, but yeah, I plugged in
that
my.
that might have been me. I got a little notification here that my internet connection is unstable, so I may have had a little internet blip there. But yeah, maybe everything is collapsing all around me, and this would be a good time to call it. But yeah,
Well,
sounds like we have a plan for next week. More Castlevania. Hopefully, we'll be able
yeah, all I
to
was
get through it.
saying is, I was like, yeah, you're going to take your motorcycle
On
on
I'll, I'll,
your
I'll,
trip?
I'll have to buy a motorcycle.
Yeah, well,
Man, I have to buy
step
a
up.
motorcycle and a monitor. Man, it's getting expensive.
Yeah, I mean, well, get on it. Okay, well, anyway, conversation is clearly run dry. This was a lot of fun, excluding the fact that you and I, like, you beat the mummies, and then you and I were just like, let's just die over and over and
Yeah, I
over
know.
again, which that's a strategy.
Yeah,
But yeah,
we'll be better next time. Cool. Sounds good. Yeah, thanks anybody who might still be here for hanging out. This was fun, and we'll see you next time.
sounds good. Let me
All
see
right.
if I can find Zoom to hang up on you. Otherwise, you'll just be here forever. There we go.
All right. See ya.